At the end of Marvel's worst MCU movie, The Eternals, the post-credit scene shows Jon Snow about to touch a sword when he hears a voice say,
"Sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?"
That voice belongs to Mahershala Ali, and back in 2019 at San Diego Comic-Con, it was announced he'd be playing Blade in the MCU, with his movie originally slated for release November 3rd, 2023. However, to say the Blade reboot has had a troubled production would be an understatement. After countless setbacks, including numerous script rewrites, writers and directors leaving, and reportedly even Blade himself considered exiting the project altogether, which in turn has caused multiple delays. At the time of this recording, the current release date for Blade is November 7th, 2025. But to be honest with you, I don't think Blade will ever make it to cinemas, and if somehow it does, I worry for the quality of the movie, as Marvel has given Blade a budget of only 100 million. Now you might be thinking, 100 million is a lot of money. Not at Marvel it's not. To give you a comparison, She-Hulk had a total budget of 225 million. And just look how shit that was.
He almost tasted that. Num, eat it up. Go play okay, 3, 2, 1. You know I'm the hottest.
Now that being said, there is a chance that the Blade reboot will be good. A very slim chance, but a chance nonetheless. After all, the first Blade movie was made with a budget of only 45 million, and that film was loved by audiences and critics alike. So for $100 million, they should be able to create something great. However, I'm highly doubtful, especially in the wake of reading this. I'd like to believe it's bullshit, but after seeing with my own two eyes what the MCU has become in recent years, I'm convinced this is true. Apparently, one of the many scripts had a narrative led by women, with Blade being relegated to the 4th lead.
Are you retarded?
I will never understand Hollywood's obsession with rebooting or remaking their old classics. Peter Pan, The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, Hellboy, A Nightmare on Elm Street and The Mummy, to name a few. Can't we just leave things alone and look back on them fondly, instead of getting our latest fix of member berries? Clearly these fucktards are out of ideas and are too creatively bankrupt to think of new ones. The originals were timeless, they had heart, they had passion, they were just great movies. Whereas what can be said about the remakes other than shitty soulless cash grabs? Which brings me to the point of this video. Blade doesn't need to be rebooted or remade. The old movies are excellent despite being made over 20 years ago. They still hold up to this day. Well, number 1 and 2 do. Number 3, not so much.
The blood god's coming, and after tonight, you people are fucking history.
What do you mean, you people?
If you don't know who Blade is, he's a half-human, half-vampire hunter, and he is by far Marvel's coolest character ever. He also has the coolest introduction scene ever. The movie starts with a girl taking a guy to a nightclub, but the dude soon realises this ain't no normal club.
What's wrong, baby?
The guy's about to be devoured when all of a sudden the vampires stop because Blade's here. They all just stand around terrified, and rightfully so. He kills them all. Blade's the kind of dude to rip out your throat then use it as a weapon by throwing it at someone else. I love how much Blade loves killing vampires. Every time he does, he's got the biggest smile on his face. Another thing great about this movie is the choreography. Wesley Snipes is a very talented mixed martial artist, proficient in kung fu, jiu-jitsu and kickboxing, as well as having a 5th degree black belt in karate and a 2nd degree black belt in hapkido. All of this helps bring confidence, athleticism and charisma to the role of Blade. Honestly, every fight scene is mesmerising. It will have you glued to the screen. The only real fault with this film is the CGI. There's a scene where the head vampire guy melts in the sun, and despite releasing in 1998, the CGI isn't that bad. In fact, it's better than some modern day MCU CGI. But by the end of the movie, the CGI looks fucking dreadful.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I know a lot of people consider Blade 1 to be the best Blade movie, but I personally think the second one's slightly better, mostly because of the new characters. Ron Perlman's Reinhardt is a standout. I thoroughly enjoyed every moment he was on screen, even if he was rocking the stupidest beard I've ever seen. I also really liked Norman Reedus' character Scud. But my favourite new addition to the Blade universe were the Reapers. They're a breed of vampire that feeds on vampires, and like zombies, they're driven by an uncontrollable urge to feed. They have increased strength, speed and durability, as well as a big mouth that opens up to allow for a gruesome feeding method, making these vampires a lot scarier than the ones we got in the first movie. And of course, Blade is still cool as ever.
You obviously do not know who you are fucking with!
Like I said, I like number 2 more than number 1, although I have more problems with number 2 than I do number 1. Like the CGI again. Some looks good, and some looks like total shit. And what about Dr. Karen Jensen from the first movie? Why isn't she in Blade 2? Fuck knows, they never mention her again. Lastly, my biggest issue with this one is the fact they bring Whistler back to life. In the first movie, Blade's mentor is beaten to a bloody pulp and left for dead. When Blade finds him, Whistler takes Blade's gun and puts himself out of his misery. Also in the first movie, Blade explains the rules to killing vampires.
If you aim for the head or the heart, anything else is your ass.
So seeing as Whistler shot himself in the head, by the movie's own rules there's no way he could be alive as a vampire. Yet here he fucking is. According to this movie, Whistler turned after he shot himself.
That does not make sense.
So yeah, Whistler should be fucking dead.
You're about one cunt hair away from hillbilly heaven.
I love it when you talk dirty.
A bit like the reboot, Blade Trinity had a very troubled production. Wesley Snipes wasn't happy with the script, and unfortunately for him, the script writer was also the director, which created a negative atmosphere on set. So much so that Wesley Snipes wouldn't even talk to the director. Instead, he used post-it notes to communicate. In all fairness, I understand why Wesley wasn't happy with the script. The story's shite, and unlike Blade 2, the new characters are shite as well. Drake and Abigail are underdeveloped, and don't even get me started with Ryan Reynolds' Hannibal King. He's just an unfunny version of Deadpool. The one and only good thing I can say about this movie is Blade's still cool as fuck throughout.
Ready to die.
I was born ready, motherfucker.
Say what you want about this trilogy. The way they blend the superhero story with horror is seamless, and I have no faith in Marvel/Disney's ability to replicate that. Mahershala Ali might be a fantastic Blade, but in my mind, no one will ever be a better Blade than Wesley Snipes. He was perfect.
Perfection.
And that's why I think Blade doesn't need to be rebooted or remade. Wesley Snipes doesn't need to be replaced, especially with Secret Wars coming up. And reportedly, Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman are going to be the leads. So why not bring Wesley back as well? Let's have this movie led by the heroes from the 2000s who made this fucking genre what it is.
There was a little buzz about maybe a Blade 4 or maybe a TV series Blade. I mean, I think we all like Blade.
It's always a possibility, you know, it's in Marvel's hands. They see the value in it, we see the value in it. I'm still in shape enough and fit enough to handle the roles, so we'll see where it goes.
Well, that's the end of the video. If you liked it, why not like it? If you liked me, why not subscribe? Then I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Smoke weed every day.